Hi there, everyone. It's Catherine, and I am here. Um, I should say it's Catherine and Bella. um, every once in a while, she tends to crawl up onto my shoulder or onto my chest, and she'll just sit here and purr. It's the most amazing experience. There's just calming and just kind in a way. I'm a cat person, you can tell by now, because Bella's been with me a lot. So let me know who's here. Feel free to put where you're here from, um, and I'm just so happy to be here with you today. So welcome to my weekly vlog. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Lisa from Iowa. More people will be signing on, but I want to share with you. I'm just coming from our wisdom circles. Mm. We have a project that's been going on for almost a year, actually. Uh, Hi, Michelle from Ireland. Um, to say it's been a year that it's been in an active project, and I'm going to put those air quotes. You know how people do air quotes? I'm air quoting this. Um, because it's actually been in process for many, many years. Dr. Carmody, who is our medical advisor, he was my primary care physician. Hi, Donna from New Hampshire. Um, he was my primary care physician for over 35 years. It was our conversations and explorations together that helped to define lipedema. First of all, to find it, then to begin to define it, and then to make connections with people all over the world, originally with healthcare providers and doctors and surgeons and researchers and scientists and patients. So that journey with Dr. Carmody and I go back to a long time ago. uh, um, if you are part of the wisdom circle, and Marcia says she's disappointed she couldn't get to it, the recording will be up in circle in a couple of days. So we always record them. This was one you don't want to miss. If you're part of this one, you do not want to miss it. I strongly recommend that you watch it. So Wilma from Shetland and Jody from Wisconsin. Wow, so good to see you all. Um, so Dr. Carmody and I have been on this trajectory for many years, and as we've evolved, the conversation has evolved, and what we've been working on for the past really few years, this whole notion of emergence. Dr. Carmody consistently says the wisdom is in the patient, is with the patient. And so that was how we worked together for all those years. Oftentimes, he would give me knowledge, he would guide, he would direct, he would always ask me what I thought in terms of what would be the best next step. He would make suggestions, but everything was done in a very collaborative way. Hi, Jerry. She's from Pennsylvania. Um, so we have now begun to apply those same principles to the lipedema community. So the community itself is self selecting, showing up in these wisdom circles, and exploring some very deep and profound questions about what we can do, those of us who live with lipedema. And hi, Julie from North Carolina. So there is a subgroup. So we had a group think. You can call it a group think. You can call it a brainstorming. Over not quite a year ago, where we invited a pretty large group of lipedema ladies to capture on post-it notes, electronic post-it notes, what it's like to live with lipedema. What are their questions? What are their insights? What are their ahas? What are their struggles? And we ended up with a digital board that was pretty big with, many hundreds of these post-it notes. A subgroup then, again, self-selection. Hi, Diana from Alabama, and Clara Baker, I think it is, from Oklahoma. Wow, this is so great. So a subgroup took all of these post-its and organized them into categories, like with like duplicates, and ended up with these categories that were then color coded, were then put into um, um, buckets, if you will, like buckets, and based on our holistic approach. That is what we use here at Lipedema Simplified. And then last year's conference in October, I think could it have been only last year? I think it was. Dr. Carmody and I did a presentation about all of this at the conference. And then we began these wisdom circles. Sometimes there are more, sometimes there are less. Whoever shows up, shows up. And we have these ongoing explorations and conversations. And today, one of the subgroups, Julie Stewart from North Carolina, Jerry Hamill from Pennsylvania, Judy Green from Pennsylvania, Deborah Jerzak from New Hampshire, Blanche Pepitone from Pennsylvania. Wow, 3 of you guys are from Pennsylvania. And Blanche was not able to be with us today because she is on a cruise to Alaska. And Blanche, wherever you are, we hope you're having a great time. But she had added some information, and it was delivered by Julie, who's been the convener of this particular group. We've had several small groups, but the group today had done so much work. So our holistic approach is based on that we are whole beings. We're not just random lipedema, lymphedema, whatever your comorbidity is. That's a piece of it, but it's not all of it. And in order to heal, in order to live the kind of lives we want to, we really do believe that it takes a holistic approach. So, physical, mental, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and social. So there are 5 domains that we talk about. And right now, we're in the social domain because we're having a conversation about this. And it's a piece of it. But I think it was probably 3 or 4 months ago. We meet monthly. I think it was 3 or 4 months ago that the group as a whole decided that the direction they wanted to go in was the emotional direction, was to start naming and exploring solutions about the emotional roller coaster that so many of us experience. And it is an emotional roller coaster. Oh my God, is it ever? You know, not knowing, going to doctors, not getting answers, or being told it's your fault because you're fat, go away, lose weight, come back when you've lost 20, 40, 100, 200 pounds, whatever it is. Um, and this implicit blame that we all take on, and the cultural anti fat bias and stigma that's so much a part of, dealing with what we deal with on a daily basis, and our self judgment and self blame. And one of the things to this day, even after doing all this work, there's still this little piece that says, "What are you doing wrong? You must be doing something wrong." I'm laughing at it because it's so funny. Um, so, in that whole context, oh my God, the level of thought and care and empathy that went into this subgroup and what they're putting together for newbies coming in. And those of us, I'm sure, who are here, I mean, we'll be part of it for sure. Um, and so I'm not going to talk about what it is. Rather, I'd like to talk about my own experience since this is my vlog and I get to say, wow, what a ride. Because, wow, what a ride. I'm, okay. I'm not often stumped for words, but I'm humbled by the level of generosity in this community. I feel that, people step forward, ladies step forward with the desire to give to others in the community. And I was saying in the group today, because I'm the founder and director of Lipedema Simplified and the Lipedema Project, I get many, 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 many emails and texts and phone calls, and I've talked to thousands of women over the past 10, 12 years since I've been doing this. And I've interviewed patients all over the world. I've interviewed doctors and scientists and researchers and advocates and therapists. And, I've just had the most amazing array of fascinating conversations. But here's the bottom line: so many women who have conversations about finding out they have lipedema or suspecting that they have lipedema and calling to find out, what can I do? What's my next step? What should I do next? How do I get a diagnosis? My doctor won't believe me, all of that kind of thing. So often just have the conversation. I listen. Most of them cry. That then we cry together. And then we laugh a little bit and we begin to sort out what's right for each woman as a next step. And then invariably, before the conversation conversation is completed, she'll say to me, "How can I help others?" Thank you. This has helped me, but how do I help others? I want to help others. And first of all, in the beginning, I always thought, this is wonderful. And then as it happened again and again and again and again, I'll say to someone, it's really like they say when you're about to take off in an airplane and the flight attendant will say, drop down the mask, put on your own mask first, and then take care of the others around you, your kids, your spouse, whoever it is. But your mask goes on first. And that's what I say. I say to everyone. I'm saying it to myself recently since I've been so sick. I need to put the mask on. So and what's happened over the years is that so many women in our community have found their pathways. They have their healing journeys and have really made incredible progress. And from that, there's so much generosity and so much thoughtfulness. And as I said, as when we started, empathy, because really we know those of us who are here and stay for the long haul, we know what it's like to deal with lipedema and its many. Jerry had a good word for it, and I don't remember. I call it comorbidities. But Jerry had a better word for it. Jerry, if you're here, I think you are here. Put it in the chat because it was whatever you called it, I liked better than my calling it comorbidities. But other conditions that often come with our lymphatic disorders. So, yeah. So I'm really grateful. Okay, so Clara is saying, here, I'll just put it here. I think it's a good question. Do not mean to interrupt. Anytime I would really like to know what the ladies actually deal with. I know my issues, but I do not really know how it affects people's health. Very complex and a lot of similarities, some differences. Clara, I'm going to suggest you come to one of our free webinars. And I want to make that announcement anyway. We have a series of free webinars coming up. Our event is coming up the end of October. And what we do before an event, we'll have a series of free webinars. And here is the link. The next one that's coming up is Leslyn is doing one called Lipedema, Mother of the Species, looking at the genetics and underlying DNA code, what we know, which is limited, but is still very interesting from an anecdotal point of view. learn.lipedema-simplified.org/free-webinar. Screenshot it or come back, I think, or let me see if I can put it. I'll put it in the chat, though not everybody gets the chat. Okay, there it is. Not everybody gets the chat, but I'm putting it in there so you can have it. So we have these free webinars coming up, and come to one of our free webinars. But what I would say, even more than that, we have a 3-day event, October 27, 28, and 29. Let me go get that link if I can find it. I know it's here. Here it is. And I'm going to put that link in the chat because that'll take you. In fact, I would, if you haven't signed up for it, be sure to sign up for it because it's on an early bird special, and the early bird special is going to go away. We set up 100 tickets for the early bird special, and we're already up to I think 57 of them gone. Oh, co-occurrences. Thanks, Jerry. I like that. I have to remember that with lipedema we have co-occurrences. Okay, there's the link for the event. So we have all these free webinars and they lead up to the event. And part of what we do with the free webinars is, of course, we give wonderful information, but we also invite people to come to our event because the event is a deeper dive. There's only so much we can do in an hour. Over 3 days, we have speakers come from around the world. We have an opportunity to go much deeper. So please, if you haven't, please register before the price goes up. So that's the link for the 3-day. Unless you are one of our super early bird specialers, because we did a really deep cut in the price. Co-occurrences. Oh, I love it. Oh, Jerry says, I believe Blanche said it. Well, I heard it from you, Jerry. So Blanche is in Alaska, so we'll ask her when she gets back. So I want to go back to the generosity of the community. I guess I have a lot more to say than I thought I did today. We have a couple of conferences coming up. We've been invited to present. We submitted abstracts and they accepted the abstract. So Dr. Carmody is going to the Worldwide Congress in Lymphology in September in Italy, which is the biggest conference on the lymphatics in the world. It was started by the Foldies 50 years ago. It's pretty remarkable. So he's going to be there and presenting on some work that we've been doing. And then both Dr. Carmody and Siobhan are going to be presenting at the largest lipedema conference in Berlin in October. Leslin and a bunch of others, I may be doing a small piece in it, but I may not be. I mean, I'm not going to be there live because, as most of you know, if you've been around, I've been experiencing some co-occurrences like that, some comorbidities to my lipedema and lymphedema. I've been having a hard time. I'm better, but I still need to. Easy does it. So the NLN, which is the National Lymphedema Network, their conference is in Philadelphia in the October, and Leslin will be presenting there. And we're in the midst of putting something together for the Obesity Medicine Association, which is one of there are two main organizations that train obesity medicine specialists. And there's one that we're in the process of hopefully going to present at in Denver, April of 2024. So why am I sharing all this? This is the community. So much of this has come out of the strength, the camaraderie, the support, the answers that we get working together. And so I just wanted to share all of this and my own personal, very deep gratitude for everything. and how things are unfolding. I was, I'm trying to remember, last weekend, I believe it was last weekend. Yeah, it was. I was in Philadelphia. I had gone down to the University of Pennsylvania to have an appointment with Dr. Zhang because long story, you're going to hear it at the conference, at the October conference. Um, but I've been having what's called central lymphatic dysfunction, which means that the fluid is not moving. It's blocked. Or it was. I don't know. Maybe moving now. I've found things to do. I went to see Dr. Zhang. She is a physiatrist. Her expertise is in rehab medicine. She works mostly with cancer survivors, but she works a lot in lymphology, which is what all of us need. So she's wonderful. She's coming to speak at the conference, and I went and had an appointment with her. It was like one of those moments where something changed 180 degrees. And since I've been working and feeling better, I've been feeling so much better. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I am way over my time. We try and keep these between 15 and 20 minutes, and I'm now going closer to 27 minutes. So thank you for your patience and your stick-to-itiveness and your support and love, and you're hanging in there. We're all hanging in there together, looking and finding answers. And I'm pleased to say we really are on the verge of a very significant breakthrough. So please come join us for it. I love you. Thank you. Have a fabulous morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you